There was a similar declaration by the Council of Europe in 2009, but things haven't changed very much. In fact, I think the situation of community radio at European level at the moment is even worse than it was prior to 2008. Okay, so I could give you some examples, and I don't have to travel very far. I can talk about the 2010, the new audiovisual legislation that was approved here in the Spanish state, and that recognizes the sector but placed very strong limitations, for example, from the point of view of budgets for community radios. Also the fact that despite the recognition of the right of community media or community radio in Spain, in the Spanish state, to retain the frequencies that they are already using if they have been broadcasting on those frequencies for a period of time, nothing has been done to actually legalize the situation of those community radios. If we go to, for example, to Hungary, the situation is even worse. Prior to 2011, there were 74 community radios in Hungary. There was a change of government that changed the legislation. And what had happened basically is the new requirements established by the legislation have killed community radio very slowly. Currently, there is only 10 real community radios in Hungary, so that means that basically the government have destroyed 66, and but they have been giving licenses as community radios to religious and commercial radio stations in Hungary. So what is happening, I'm giving you those two examples so you can see very much what's the picture of what is happening in Europe. So the main role of AMAR Europe is going to those forums, to the European Parliament, to tell them basically your resolution is not worth the paper that is printed on. We are looking for you to implement, to make sure that the national governments are implementing this, which is basically first recognition of community radio, community media in Europe, because there is no recognition in most Eastern European countries. The second thing is also ensure the sustainability of community radio by providing funds, okay, more slowly. To ensure the sustainability of community radio by providing funds for community radio, which is also part of the resolution, and very clearly the European Parliament has said that it's down to local and national authorities to ensure that there is funding for community media. The third is access to frequencies. We are not only talking here about the FM band, we are talking also about the digital frequencies, because what is going to happen now is, as you know, is happening already in some European countries. There is the switchover from the analog, the FM band, to the digital. And I think that because the telecommunications companies have such a strong lobby at European level in the political institutions, what is going to happen is they are going to, in some way, try to exclude us from the digital multiplex. So what we are asking is really for the European government to implement a must carry directive, which basically will mean that the multiplex, even if they are run by a commercial company, must carry the signal of community media in the specific areas where they are broadcasting. Then another thing that we do very much is we support the struggle and the fight of community media organizations in their local areas. So we can do it for specific radio stations. How we do this? Well, we can send letters to the local authorities or the national authorities to show that it's not that radio station, the ones that they are attacking, but it's the whole membership of AMAR Europe, which is 250 members. Some of them are networks that represent, for example, in the case of the French syndicate that Agus is going to be talking about, 300 radio stations. Okay, so you are not on your fight alone, you have the support of all community radios in Europe. And also we work, for example, we work also at national level. So we have been, one of the bodies we have been lobbying for the last 2 years is the European Platform for Regulatory Authorities, which basically is a voluntary network that brings together regulatory bodies across Europe. And we have been talking to them about community media and criticizing the limitations imposed by legislation and some regulatory authorities to community media.